Hey everyone, my name is Freya Henderson. I'm the owner of the Silver Spoon Wedding Co. And this is our fifth blog post for Devotion and Desserts.
And I am Jasmine. I am the lead wedding planner and social media manager here at the Silver Spoon Wedding Co. And welcome to our segment Q&A with the DJ.
Okay, so today we have the Todd Everett. Put some respect on his name.
Okay.
Right.
DJ extraordinaire, sound extraordinaire, lighting, photo booth, all the fun stuff.
Five-star rating on Google.
5-star rating on Google. Over 100 reviews. That's amazing. I'm trying to be like you when I
Thank you.
Not Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame,
How are you?
But it's not about
excellent.
It's not about
you all did your research. I like that.
We take this serious.
Yes, yeah.
I appreciate that.
So starting off, what is the Todd Everett experience?
Oh, that's a great question. So, when I started the business 4 years ago, with any business, you have to find a problem and your business has to be the solution for it. So I just started to think about all of my experiences DJing or just going out, in my spare time with friends, and how I felt when I went out. So like you go out right on a Friday or Saturday night with your friends or family, you buy an outfit, you go, you buy your friends drinks, you buy yourself drinks, and then you go out to eat afterwards, you pay, 20 to get in, 30, whatever they're charging, right? And you get home and you're like, dang, you know what? I could have just stayed and watched TV. Like I didn't spend like $200 and on what, right? So I thought that the experience was missing from events. So that's how I came up with, the Todd Everett experience. I thought, how could I separate myself from everybody else? Because we're in a world now where technology has exceeded us, and everybody is a DJ, right? There's an oversaturation of DJs. So you got guys that's been in the game for a long time, right? You got guys that's been in the game a long time, and then you got some that um, went on YouTube for 48 hours, and then on the third day they get an LLC, right? And they have a mobile DJ company. So I just felt that the only thing that I can give my clients to differentiate myself is my God-given personality, talent, and who I am as a person. And that's basically what the Todd Everett experience is, or how it started. And then later, as my team got bigger, because I was seeing just an abundance of clients coming to me, and I was getting double booked and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, to run a business, I can't like miss out on these extra opportunities. So I had to expand my team. And I didn't just pick any DJs. They had to align with who I was and what my vision was, and what the brand was. So as you know, James, because you worked with him before, he was one of my mentors coming up. So every member on my team has to have like a high level of integrity. They have to believe in family, trying to create and build a legacy. And they also have to be people's persons. The fact that we are DJs and have, individually over 20 years of experience is a bonus. So that's essentially what the Todd Everett experience is.
All right.
That sounds great.
Yes. And it leads right into like our next question about what your clients can expect from you and from the experience.
Okay. Our clients can really expect us to give them a lot of attention that other companies aren't able to give them. For us, it's not just about the party or the wedding day or the actual event. It's about our first time connecting, or our first contact leading up to that event, and then after the event. So they get us essentially. We're great at building relationships, and going into our events. We have built such a great relationship and an understanding of our clients, and it just helps us hit the bullseye every time.
That's so important too.
Yeah.
Bringing your authentic self to an event and to a client. And then, you know, you work with the client, but you being a DJ, I mean, their guests and whoever else is there, you know, it's an
Right.
experience as well. And you connect with
Yeah.
them, you know, bringing in service. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's really important.
Mission is the most important.
Yeah.
Especially just being in the wedding industry. It is, like you said, it's so saturated to where the thing that sets you apart is truly the client experience. And
Yeah.
also the thing that builds you up the most. So I definitely understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your most memorable client experience?
Um,
Like, what's a
you,
moment that just stands out to you, or you're just like, you know what, this is why I do this?
you know what? I'm gonna turn the tables a little bit. I'm a person that likes to embrace my failures. So I just want to share a moment where I was in a compromising position where I could have failed, but I kind of overcame the obstacle, and it made me realize that I had something special. Um, that other people saw in me, but I didn't necessarily see in myself. And I think it was just due to um, fear or just like not reaching to my full potential. So I had an event, and it was actually a corporate event. I think it was either at Soundboard in the Motor City Casino, or it was either at the Garden Theater. I can't remember, but it was one of those. But it was a Halloween event for Quicken Loans. And while I was DJing, while I was DJing, the icon came up on my computer. You know, when your computer wants to do a update on the Apple computer, the little box comes up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, no. So I ignored it. It came up again. So I hit the no. I swore I hit the no, but I must have hit the yes, and my computer just shut down. So it happened during a very, very important time because I had just built the party up. Like people were just starting to get loose. The dance floor was packed, and my computer just shuts down. So, you know, that is a real tough position for a DJ to be in. Like most DJs would like, you know, I don't know the way to properly describe it without using profanity right now, but but anyway,
Nervous just how you talk about it.
I'm like,
right.
what's what happened?
I would have ran out and left my equipment, like, take me home.
So the music just shuts down and everybody looks. I grabbed the mic. I said, okay, what we're going to do now, we're going to see who got the best Halloween costume. I want everybody with a costume to line up in front of me. Yada, 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 yada. While we were doing that, I was still talking to him. My computer did a whole update. And as soon as it came back on, I queued up the next song. And by that time, we were done picking who had the best Halloween costume. I turned the music on and it just started playing. So,
Great. So we do some client interaction.
Right.
So
yeah. So
they probably didn't
huh?
notice.
Nobody noticed.
Yeah.
Nobody noticed.
But it's
Yeah.
always
So
tough on you because as the vendor, you tend to that weighs on you, and you're like, oh my gosh, everyone gonna think I suck.
Yeah.
right. But it was like a proud moment for me because you know, I've been DJing for a long time. I started when I was 15 or 16. I'll be 41 this year. And when I first started, you couldn't pay me to get on the microphone. You
Wow.
couldn't pay me. So you know, at that point, I really was like, okay, I got the gift of gab a little bit. You know what I mean? People have been saying it, but I never tapped into that as far as DJing. And once that happened, I was just like, wow, I can do more than I give myself credit for.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I think it's so important to have like a good team around you, because if you have a good team around you, then they'll tend to like point out things about you and bring out the best version of you,
Yeah,
so you can operate at just high capacity.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Speaking of teams and, you know, other things, doing more, we see that you have a podcast, right?
Yeah. Oh, you checked it?
Yes.
Oh, we research.
We know what we're doing.
Okay.
That's what's up.
So tell us about the wind down. Tell us about it.
Okay, so the Wind Down is a podcast that our husband and wife duo DJ team does. It's called the Wind Down, and basically what they do on the Wind Down is they play classic R&B music. Each Wind Down has a specific theme, and the music kind of goes with that specific theme, and then they play the music and they have just open dialogue. And just talk about things that relate to the theme. So um, they had one about relationships, and they kind of talked about their relationship, how they got to the point where they were married, and stuff like that. And then it's like an open platform. We do it on Mixcloud, so it's an open platform because um, those watching or the viewers are able to actually call in
Wow.
Yeah.
and ask questions, or share their thoughts and like that. So we're still building on it, but I think it's a great idea, and it was just something that we came up with to try to highlight them more, because I'm the flagship DJ of the company. One thing that when I built my team, I always said is I don't want to like treat you like a contract DJ. I want to help build everybody's individual brand up, so we can all just be awesome, and everybody is able to identify with us all.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
so different DJs throughout your company, kind of like hosts, right?
Yeah, so we have a team of 5 now, and it's been a struggle. I thought that would be like the easiest thing because, with me coming up, I always wanted to be put on, or I wanted, was hungry for opportunities and stuff like that. But it's a challenge because you can't be more motivated than the actual person you're giving an opportunity to. And a lot of people are driven by money, greed, and they just want to be on Facebook, right? They want to be highlighted, or they want their face to let what they say, we out here. They want to feel like we out here.
Yeah.
Right.
And it doesn't really feed the brand, so it doesn't work, unless it's a benefit for the brand, and everyone is able to benefit off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I definitely understand. It's hard trying to differentiate the people who are just looking for the next thing and who actually want to share in the vision that you have for your business. Because when it's yours, then you care, and especially when
Yeah,
it's customer based, you want them to treat your customers the same way you would. So
Right.
there's a lot that goes into it. So
Yeah.
I definitely.
right.
So let's go back a little bit, because I know when we first asked you about the Ty Everett experience, you mentioned how family was a big thing for you. And even with this Wind Down podcast, you're saying you're working with your wife. So I think I want to know
No,
how.
not my wife. It's D&T is a husband and wife DJ team. So it's DJ D Smooth and his wife T.
Okay.
Understood.
Gotcha.
Understood.
Okay.
Because I was gonna ask, how did that dynamic change anything? But then I could flip it on the other end and ask, do you think that that adds to the experience that you have having a duo that's married that works together? Do you think that their interaction is a little bit more interesting in working with clients?
Absolutely. So I'll give you a little background on how that came to. So it might have been maybe close to 4 years ago. James and I were doing, I believe it was at like the Grecian venue. I think that's downriver. And we were in one room. D&T was in the other room, and we both had weddings there that night. They had their own company. And after we set up, I peeked over there. After he set up, he peeked over in ours, and we, start talking. And one of my qualities, everybody always says, I'm a good judge of character. So when we were talking, I exchanged information with him, and we became, friends on social media. I would support things that he was doing. He would support things that I was doing. So later on down the line, when my company started growing, I said, man, maybe I can reach out to him, and maybe he would be willing to do some work for us, you know, like kind of subcontracting. So I think he went out for one wedding and did an awesome job. And then as my brand grew a little bit more, I said, you know what, I don't want to subcontract. I want the DJs to be exclusive to the Todd Everett experience, because I just don't want to put my clients in that predicament where they don't feel comfortable with who they're getting. You know what I mean? It has to make sense. So I went out on a limb because I knew he already had his own company, and that's a lot to ask for somebody to kind of drop what they're doing and come over to your world. So I reached out to him and he declined, and it was he declined respectively, you know, and I can respect that, you know what I mean? So I think I had him come out on a couple of other events, and then it just stayed on my mind. It stayed on my mind. So a year later, I don't know, I woke up one morning and I said, Todd, give it another try, but reword how you said it. So gave him a call back and I just said, hey man, listen, this is what I see in you. This is what I'm good at. This is what, you know, I can do with you coming over here, because it can be a win-win situation. And this is how, you know, I see the vision. And he was like, man, you know what? I never thought about it like that. He was like, you know, I see you all about like legacy, family, and stuff like that. And I said, man, let's build together. You know, it's called the Todd Everett Experience, but I'm not the type that you know, my name is just my name. I'm gonna help you build so everybody has their own identity, you know, through the brand. And I said, you know, I have this vision, man. And I shared what my vision was to him. And he's like, wow, you know, he says, listen, I'm down with it, but my wife has to agree with it. And he said, you know what, I think it'll
Smart man.
yeah, smart, very, very smart man. And you know what, at the end of the day, I respected that. I really respected him saying that. And he said, I think it'll be better if it came from you. I think she will understand it more. So I said, well, let's meet up, you know, let's go out to dinner or whatever. So we all linked up, my entire team. And I just shared what my vision was. And I just shared like what the Todd Everett Experience is about, what we're trying to do. You know, everything isn't about DJing. I don't do this for the money. You know, if I have to make money because it's a business, but I'm so passionate about it and I'm so in love with what I do, I'll do it for free. You know what I mean? So I just told him like everything that the Todd Everett Experience was about, my goals and the plans and where I see us, you know, down the line. And his wife was all in. You know, we just kind of clicked like that. So and that's been probably a year or two now. So we've been pretty locked in. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna see some great things from them
Yeah.
for sure.
I was like,
Yeah.
what is this?
That's something really different. You don't see that. Like,
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never heard of
Usually
them.
it's just one or the other.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
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 And their personalities, you know, I'm like, you know, I liked it. You know, it was organic. And I'm a fan. You know what I mean? I think that's one thing that was important. I was such a big fan that I said, hey, listen, I know this will work. You know what I mean? And a lot of times you don't get that because you get situations where everybody wants to be the star, right? And everybody wants to call the shots. But, you know, with the Todd Everett Experience, everybody is pretty much their own boss. You know, the platform is like everybody has a voice. Everybody's voice is going to be heard. And we're going to work together to figure it out.
And I'm sure that's something that's so important with something like DJing because, you know, again, it's all about your personality. It's about how you connect with your client and your crowd and whatever. And so having that kind of like creative freedom, even though they're working with you, is I'm sure something that's important and that they value, you know?
I think
Yeah.
it makes your company more appealing
Yeah.
too, having different types of DJs who offer maybe a different experience for
Right.
everyone. And I feel
Exactly.
like find a DJ that they really connect with,
Right.
that they can have a good experience with.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So-
important. Not the I'm gonna elaborate on that because that's one thing that I always tell people is that, you know, you can learn certain things, and there's so many of us out here, right? I don't want you to be the best DJ. I want you to be the best version of you, because nobody can duplicate that. And I think that's real important. And that's what we're all about, is like, hey, what you two do, I can't do. What I do, you two can't do. So it's giving our clients an option, because every client is different, right? Every client wants something different. So we're giving a variety.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, I agree. I think that is very important to not just try to do all the things, but do the things that you're really great at, and really focus on making sure that from start to finish, the client gets the full experience that they want, and that they feel as though their voice was heard, and that their vision for their wedding or any other event actually came true. Yeah. So how does a client book you? Let's go.
Okay, that's a good question. So, they can book us through the Knot Wedding Wire, Facebook, Instagram. You can go to our website. We have links in all of our social media. But most of our clients come from, I'm very selective again. And that's another thing about the Todd Everett experience. We don't take on every couple that contacts us. I'll probably turn away more couples than I do take on, because they have to fit what our brand is about, and we have to feel that we can deliver. So you can go to all of those platforms, or you can go directly to our website, www.thetoddeexp.com, to book our services. And then, like, for weddings, we set up a consultation. If the client isn't willing to set up a consultation, they're not the right client for us. I have to understand who you are. I have to know, I have to look in your eyes. I have to feel it. And that's basically how we take on our clients. If the client doesn't want to meet up or speak, then I take that as they don't really value who's going to be entertaining them. And I feel that the DJ is the boss of the event. So their expectations aren't that high. And it happens. And that's not a knock on anybody, but different strokes for different folks.
Exactly. Yeah. Like you're saying, if you don't have a good DJ,
you have a good DJ. Definitely true. So when we post this call, we're going to make sure that we include those links that you mentioned.
Appreciate that.
About that, just in case anybody was watching this and was trying to write things down really quick, we'll make sure that we posted below. And did you have any other questions?
No.
Ask me some more, ladies. Y'all can't do that to me. Y'all gotta ask me. I'm having too much fun here. I'm having too much fun.
So we should do like a part 2 video.
We should.
A part 2 video, and we can see, like, you want to do a little mix for us?
I could, or we can do a part 2 and I can have my team here.
That sounds even better.
That'd be sweet. I think it'll be a good opportunity, because I would like to hear some of their answers to, some of these questions, and also give you all the opportunity to see how awesome they are.
I've told her, like, I spoke so highly of you and so highly of James.
Thank you.
It's crazy that, like, from actually meeting them at my first wedding to then the job I have now, I was working an event and he was there, and I was like, this is crazy. He's everywhere. And he's the greatest. So, like, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
You have thoroughly impressed me. Even though I have not had a wedding or an event, I speak very highly of you and James.
Thank you. I want to share before do I got a little time? I like to share a story about James. And we're talking about James Osteen. That's the one of our lead DJs at the Todd Everett Experience. But our relationship stems back years. When I first moved to Detroit from New York, James and I were in the same record pool at the time, and that was before the computers. That was the digital age. That's when you had to sort with records and stuff. James was in the record pool, and as I started to grow as a DJ, because I was going to Eastern Michigan, I would come to Detroit on Fridays and Thursday nights to DJ at bars and different stuff, and just kind of hustling, making my way. James created a couple of opportunities for me as far as getting me into a couple of clubs or lounges to display my talents. And what's so funny about James is I want to share this story because it's so important to my career, and it can be inspiring to young DJs, because I didn't get here overnight. I paid my dues. I paid my dues tenfold, So I was working for Home Depot in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and I was a cashier. My frontline supervisor came up to me, Caucasian guy. He came up to me and said, "Hey, Todd, I heard you was a DJ." And I smiled and I said, "Yeah, and he said, "Well, my wedding is next week. My DJ bailed on me."
Oh, wow.
I said, "Jay," and matter of fact, I'm gonna post a picture on my when you release this, I'm gonna post a picture on my Instagram of Jay and his wife. He said, I said, "Jay, I am a DJ, but I do it in my living room, and I do birthday parties. I don't really do weddings or whatever the case may be." I think I might have did one or two weddings, but I was just DJing. I didn't know the formalities or nothing about weddings. I was just trying to make some money. So he said, "Well, everybody in here says you're a good DJ." I said, "Well, yeah, that's just like parties and college parties and stuff." He said, "Well, I trust that you can handle it." He said, "Well, you want to do it?" And my mind was, man, I'm a broke college student. Yes, I want to do it, but I'm always aware, like, put myself out there to jeopardize somebody else's situation. I don't like to do that. So I just told him, I said, "Hey, if you believe in me, I'll do it." So what I did is I never had DJ'd a situation where it was someone in a different ethnic background, like I've done high school parties where it's a mix, but this is a wedding. This is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, how am I going to do this? So I called James up. I said, "James, I got this situation, yada, 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 yada." And the two weddings I mentioned to prior, I had did for James. He had another event, so he let me go do them, and they gave him good reviews or whatever. So I'm like, let me call James. James said, "Do this, play this. When they do this, do this. This is how you gonna do this, da, 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 da." Went to the wedding, did exactly what he said. I came back to work that next Monday because everybody from like Home Depot, all the managers and big wigs was in there. It was like I was a star. I mean, and they hired me to do like the corporate holiday parties and stuff like that. So
Gosh.
still out
there.
Yeah.
So jump to where we are today. Our brand is known for handling diverse audiences.
Yeah.
So I have to show him all the respect and love in the world, because I feel like he helped me tap into that. You know what I mean? He gave me direction and I executed it, and I trusted his information, and it led us to where we are today, or it helped lead us to where we are today. So I always, like to give that story, because I'm real big on giving people their flowers, and I'm always big on, giving respect where it's due. And I think a lot of us don't do that. We think we make everything happen, but in actuality, one thing that I say, I've been doing this over 20 something years, and I'm at the top of the food chain now, but I'm always a student. Just because I'm out here doing what I do, I'm still a student first. And I think that's important for a lot of people to hear something like that.
Yeah.
It is, especially coming from somebody like you.
Yeah.
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 Thank you.
It's really important to always be a student. You always have to learn. That's the only way that you can continue to improve.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree. And shout out to James for coming through with the assistant. Let's give him a round of applause.
Hopefully
Absolutely.
Yes.
And
we have to meet him now.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So we appreciate you for accepting and making time. Yeah.
I appreciate you ladies so much for the opportunity and giving me the platform to voice, about the Todd Everett experience and about myself and the entire team. And I really appreciate you all. And this has been really, really fun.